Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy MF Crypto here, aka Quant, aka the wife changer, aka the Quant father. Once again. And as always, I'm on a mission to help you build generational wealth. Welcome back to the channel, my fellow Quant fam community. And for those of you who may be tuning in for the very first time, welcome in as well. I have an explosive Quant Network video update for you today. Q&A session with none other than our very own beloved Quant Network CEO, Gilbert Verdian. I'll be diving into that in extensive detail, as well as another big article involving Martin Hargreaves and the future of fraud prevention coming into this new digital asset and tokenization era that we now know. It is confirmed, ladies and gentlemen, is the future of finance. Digitization is the future. Digital assets are going nowhere. We've confirmed that with the pro-crypto administration here in the United States. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, the hot topic of the day, the Bybit hack, $1.4 billion lost in sophisticated cyber attack from none other than North Korea and their Lazarus group. Bybit, a major cryptocurrency exchange, confirmed a significant security breach where over $1.4 billion in Ethereum was stolen through a sophisticated attack involving a mass transaction from an ETH multi-sig cold wallet to a warm wallet. The incident was reported today. Investigations point to the Lazarus group from North Korea as the perpetrators, with definitive proof submitted by ZachXBT. Bybit asserts that despite the loss, the company remains solvent, with client assets fully backed. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Some serious waves in the crypto sphere today. But as you can see, our very own beloved QNT currently trading at 96.27, down about 3.36% on the daily as a direct result of the aforementioned Bybit hack. We saw that dip, but an immediate rise back up and a nice bounce. Switching gears over to the weekly, nothing really to be concerned about. It's been respecting that $100 psychological level, and we've been rejecting off of that as we make our way back up there. Expect continued volatility as a direct result of this Bybit hack. It is officially the largest hack in the history of crypto exchanges. Keep your eyes peeled for that, for some more incredible opportunities to DCA dollar cost average into the GOD token. Now, let's go into the big articles of the day. First, before we hop into the Q&A session, this is an article from the Banking Risk and Regulation. Tougher fraud refund rules squeeze smaller players by Francis Coppola. This was dated February 10th of this year. The failure of green fintech tread highlights how tougher fraud reimbursement rules are pressuring smaller players in the fast-growing digital payment space. More fintechs may follow, industry experts warn. On January 20th, Leeds-based Tread announced out of the blue that it was closing, pointing the finger of blame squarely at regulation. Co-founder Will Smith said in a public post that new authorized push payment fraud reimbursement rules had, quote, significantly impacted smaller disruptors like Tread, which we simply aren't equipped to sustain. APP fraud cost the UK economy £214 million in the first half of 2024 alone. Although households and businesses were refunded almost two-thirds of this, they still lost an estimated £86 million. In October, the payment systems regulator made it mandatory for all UK payment service providers to reimburse victims up to £85,000. This includes not only high street banks, but also smaller players, such as agents of electronic money institutions like Tread, which are now having to radically rethink their business models. Martin Hargreaves, chief product officer at Quant, said, quote, the huge sums lost to APP scammers means mandatory reimbursement could be ruinous for many fintechs, given that these firms aren't bolstered by the massive balance sheets of the big banks. We continue to see a consistent pattern when it comes to the banking industry and the fintech outlets and publications. Martin Hargreaves, in combination with Gilbert Verdian, appears time and time again. It is very clear that Quant Network is starting to gain serious, and I mean serious, serious backing in the financial industry, and they are starting to be respected as very high-profile financial and fintech disruptors. They know that the Overledger system is now a legitimate technological leap and advancement. It is one of my favorite terms, a quantum leap for the banking system and for digitization of assets and tokenization of assets. The patented Overledger system is bringing a true revolution to the sector, fraud prevention being one of the major hurdles that the banking industry needs to be able to bridge in order for this new tokenization era to come online safely and effectively and under the regulatory umbrella, which those of you who have been following my channel for any amount of time now know that they have crossed the T's and dotted the I's. The framework is in place. Gilbert's extensive resume, which we're going to be touching on momentarily here in his Q&A session. He is specifically a one-of-one unique individual with all of his past experience working within the financial sector. He is the face of the franchise, our star player, our MVP, our Barry Bonds home run hitter, slam it out of the park executive that is going to bring every single one of us who have been on this journey to the precipice of generational wealth for you and yours. Big Papa Quantstradamus. He shepherds the flock. He's here for you. Don't ever get it twisted. Now hopping into that big Q&A with Gilbert Verdian, CEO and founder at Quant. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Who are you and what's your background? I am Gilbert Verdian, founder and CEO at Quant. I work in the exciting world of blockchain and digital finance, but my background is primarily in cybersecurity. I've been a CISO, CIO, and CTO, all the best techie C-suite titles. I've worked in the UK government for Downing Street, HM Treasury, the Cabinet Office, Ministry of Justice, and NSW Health, and served in the private sector at MasterCard, Vocalink, CSC, EY, PwC, BP, and HSBC. The resume is absolutely sterling and immaculate. That is not in question here. Anybody who questions his resume is an utter fool. I'm passionate about disruptive technology and what it can bring to financial services, and established the blockchain ISO standard TC307 initiative in 2015, a new set of international standards for blockchain to support its adoption in a safe and secure way. This dude is an absolute heavy hitter. And those of you who know me know, nearly 100% of my portfolio is now in QNT, well north of 90%. I am taking this absolutely to the bank, knowing that Gilbert Verdian and Martin Hargreaves are in the driver's seat. I am quampy as can be sitting in the back, just waiting for this puppy to take us to the promised land. I've lived and worked in the UK for over 2 decades, but I was born and raised in Australia, where I earned my MBA from the University of Technology, Sydney. I consider the UK my home, but I certainly miss the good weather down under. What is your job title and what are your general responsibilities? As CEO, I steer the company ship, making sure that everything stays on course while navigating the very fast-moving world of digital finance. I'm responsible for building and maintaining relationships with key clients and partners, ensuring the financial health of the company, and reviewing our strategy to make sure we're meeting business goals in the short and long term. This means on a day-to-day basis, I juggle multiple tasks. As CEO, I'm also one of the key public faces of the company, meaning I often speak at events and represent Quant in media interviews and other public forums. It's extremely busy but rewarding. Can you give us an overview of your business? Financial services is moving rapidly towards a more digitized infrastructure, and at Quant, we are laying the foundation for the future of digital finance. Assets of all kinds, from sovereign currencies to funds, are being tokenized on distributed ledgers. This is going to bring immense benefits to financial services, including improved market access, greater liquidity, improved operational efficiency, and democratization of assets. Our Overledger platform is spearheading this transition and is the enterprise standard for building on blockchain. Overledger has been used in our work with the likes of the Bank of International Settlements and the Regulated Liability Network across a range of digital currency and asset tokenization initiatives. However, it's not just financial services we work with, it's businesses of all sizes across all industries. Overledger is unique because it makes the same enterprise-grade technology that underpins all of Quant's projects with institutional and central bank customers, accessible to large enterprises, SMEs, and developers. This is what we mean when we say we're unlocking the benefits of blockchain to all. Overledger is super easy to use and develop. Its plug-and-play usability and self-servicing capabilities means it does not require specialist skill sets in coding languages. Ladies and gentlemen, quick interjection here. This is why I continue to be one of the biggest Quant network supporters, and I know that it is going to be an absolute grand slam in the future. They are making it so that all blockchains can seamlessly interact with one another without the end user having to need any specialist skill set or coding language efficiency. This is a true game changer. They are bringing the future of blockchain to not only the banking sector, but the end user, the everyday consumer as well. Pure game changer. The platform is low code and API based, meaning apps can be built in any mainstream coding language and run on any blockchain. This broad and inclusive approach is what makes Quant different to other blockchain players. What's the origin story? Why did you start the company? To solve what problems? Our origin story goes back all the way to 2009 when I was working in HM Treasury and first came across Satoshi Nakamoto's original Bitcoin white paper. I was struck by the potential of the underlying technology, blockchain, to transform financial services. A lot has changed since then, and we've seen a clear divergence between crypto and the blockchain technology that underpins it. While the unregulated crypto experiment has clearly failed, we're seeing distributed ledger technology make major headwinds in traditional banking and financial services. The problem is, however, that many blockchain technology providers and digital asset platforms lock their customers into proprietary networks or deliver only components of a solution. The situation is made more complicated by the fact that each of these blockchains has its own unique rules and language. A developer trained to work on one blockchain will not necessarily have skills that can be transferred to working on others. In essence, this creates walled gardens that stop different blockchain networks from seamlessly communicating with one another. This was the reasoning behind founding Quant and creating our Overledger platform. Overledger allows companies to issue digital money and interoperable assets with just a few clicks, move them from one blockchain network to another, write new apps that will run on any network, create secure smart contracts that will execute on any blockchain, and use simple APIs to integrate with existing systems. To date, one of the biggest barriers to blockchain adoption has been a lack of interoperability, and Quant exists to fill this gap. Bigger than cryptocurrency itself. I'm waiting for the day that Gilbert or Martin Hargreaves or anybody from Quant Network adopts my favorite phrase. It is bigger than crypto itself. They know it. You and I know it right here, listening to this video right now. It is going to change absolutely everything in the future. And to be able to be in this early in the infancy stage before the major switch is flipped and this new financial infrastructure is brought online for the very first time. You should be counting your lucky stars, ladies and gentlemen. Continue to DCA dollar cost average into this asset. Never financial advice, but on the real, it's as good a financial advice as you will ever receive. Put that on my tombstone. Who are your target customers? What's your revenue model? We have a broad range of customers, ranging from commercial banks, central banks, and investment firms to corporates, SMEs, and developers. If you had a magic wand, what one thing would you change in the banking and/or fintech sector? If I had a magic wand, I would accelerate the pace of regulatory reform to make our framework suitable for digital assets. Much of the regulatory effort and focus to date has been on the consumer side of digital asset usage. However, we need to bring far more targeted regulation to wholesale capital markets so that the entire financial ecosystem can benefit from digital assets. As is the case with most disruptive technology, recognizing the need for regulation is one thing, designing and implementing it is another. Regulation must prioritize security and privacy, while also giving the industry enough breathing room to innovate without barriers. There is a balance to be struck, and close collaboration between technology providers, governments, and regulators will be key to reaching it. What is your message for the larger players in the financial services marketplace? My message for the largest players in financial services: don't get left behind in the transition to digital finance. This is what I say to you guys all the time. Don't be left in the dust. Quant Network has already paved the path, and secured a digital future for those that are willing to listen and get in early. They will create untold fortune for the early adopting class. You are in that early adopting class. Never forget that. We're rapidly moving to a new era of digital money, with CBDCs, programmable payments, and tokenized deposits set to usher in a new era of payments innovation. Those that embrace blockchain will not only have the biggest say in crafting new regulatory frameworks, but also hold first mover advantage in attracting the best talent and skills. Exactly what I touched on in the last video. The first mover advantage is hypercritical. It is mission critical. Firms that sit back risk losing their influence and won't be in as strong a position to reap the benefits of this technology as those that have already begun preparing for and embracing this change. He's already seen the future, ladies and gentlemen. This man knew exactly what the financial industry was missing, and he brought it to them on a silver platter. Now they're going to be eating off of this platter and eating right out of Gilbert's hands for the next few decades plus. True digitization of not only banking, but everything. Tokenization of all assets is coming, and it's coming rapidly, and it's happening behind the scenes right now. Where do you get your financial services fintech industry news from? X is a first port of call, but I also regularly read the Financial Times, City AM, Ledger Insights, and FinExtra. Can you list some people you rate from the fintech and or financial services sector that we should be following on LinkedIn, and why? I have two that I'd like to share. Tony McLaughlin at Citi. He comes from a deep banking background and presents his thoughts in a straightforward, sensible manner, and cuts through a lot of the airy-fairy content that seems to come with fintech. Charlotte Hogg at Visa. Her content is positive, collaborative, and interesting, and introduces a wider range of topics to my feed. What fintech services and or apps do you personally use? Outside of Apple Pay and PayPal, I don't generally use fintech apps in my day-to-day life. The only exception is Revolut, which I use occasionally. Papa Q also uses Revolut himself. That is mainly for traveling and making currency exchange conversions on the fly, for me at least. What's the best new fintech product or service you've seen recently? To be perfectly honest, it has been a while since I saw a fintech product or service that really made me stop. It's clear that fintechs are trying really hard, but in my opinion, they are no longer innovating. Instead, they are rebranding services incumbent banks introduced to the market years ago, or adding on top of legacy systems. But there's no standalone service that has blown me away. I think that fintechs feel limited. They can't push ahead with the major innovations because of limited access to financial infrastructure, complex compliance frameworks, and limitations of the underlying system. They can't be as innovative as they want to be. What Gilbert's saying in a nutshell is they have been shut out and walled off by the big financial power players and the people who truly control this planet behind the scenes. They have been trying to put off this blockchain renaissance and this digital asset revolution because they hold all the power as is. But when this new system comes online, it'll put more power into the hands of the people as long as we protect it and safeguard our rights. That is something that will continue to be a battle in the future as this whole digital asset revolution unfolds. We can only hope that Gilbert will be on the people's side. Time will tell. Finally, let's talk predictions. What trends do you think are going to define the next few years in the fintech sector? Although the past 18 months has been a tumultuous period for crypto, blockchain technology has continued its path towards broader use, with more successful central bank digital currency experiments and the launch of tokenized commercial bank money. Over the next 5 years, blockchain will enter a new era of maturity as a result of tighter regulation and widespread institutional adoption. Rather than a disruptive technology as it has been labeled, we should expect a far closer intersection between blockchain and traditional financial services. Financial services go through natural evolutionary cycles, and blockchain is poised to play a central role in ushering in the next era of simpler, faster, and cheaper processes across capital markets and financial services. However, success is reliant upon a commitment to ensuring any projects or solutions prioritize security, compliance, and trust. Those that can achieve this will be the ones who reap the benefits of this technology in the long run. Thank you so much for taking the time to participate, Gilbert. That is the end of the official Q&A session with our very own Big Papa GV, Gilbert Verdian, the visionary, the head honcho, the pioneer, the OG. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anything else I can say at this point to point you in the right direction? The overwhelming majority of you who are listening and watching this video right now know Quant network is a true one-of-one crypto asset as well as technological wonder. We are super early. Do not give up hope. Like this bozo right here who's crying about the $400 price dipped down to $63. That is absolutely meaningless. If anything, it is a blessing beyond blessings. You need to have the foresight to hold this asset for the next 5 to 10 years minimum. 5 years at a bare minimum. Think of all the positive and bullish things that we have going for us. Staking regulatory framework just went live in the UK. We expect to see it play out in the United States shortly thereafter. Once the gateway staking is available, guys, you're going to be able to make interest on top of the QNT tokens that you already hold. And with incredibly bullish price action, all but guarantee we'll see in that 5 to 10 year period. The generational wealth opportunity that lays just before your eyes is absolutely earth shattering. And guys, don't get it twisted. I'm usually one of the most bearish and ultra conservative price predictors on all of CT and crypto YouTube. But this is the best chance that you will ever find in the cryptocurrency space if you just have the willpower to hold on, to create and generate generational wealth for you and your family moving forward. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another feature presentation by MF Crypto, aka Quantstradamus, aka the Wife Changer, aka the Quant Father, the #1 source for all your Quant Network news. I'll see you next episode. Cheers.
If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant. When a lion walks up and sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. An elephant thinks run. And it's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle because of my mentality.
What happens when you're a gazelle and you're not being pushed, you're not being prodded, you're not given a reward, nobody's encouraging you? What happens when you're a gazelle and the lion's not chasing you anymore? You stop running. But what happens when you're a lion? When you are a lion, it does not make a difference. You realize that if your family is going to eat, that if that pack of lions is to survive, then you gotta go hunt. A part of being a beast just ain't eating a gazelle. A part of being a beast is the hunts. It's the hunt that they're excited about. They like to see the gazelles run. Then boom, they take off. Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. And some of y'all just want to score. You don't like the process. You're not in love with the process.
A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. They live to hunt. They don't just live to catch it. It's the whole process. When you are a true hunter, you don't go by time, you go by the gazelle. When you are a true hunter, you hunt until you get a gazelle, and you don't stop until you get one. And then you get another, and then you get another, and you get another.
If you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, be what you say you're gonna be, you're gonna have to lion me out. You a gazelle, you're gonna come up short. You a gazelle, you're gonna have an average experience. You a student, I need you in lion mode. You an entrepreneur, I need you in lion mode. You trying to lose weight, lion mode. You can't do nothing significant in gazelle mode, nothing. Nothing impressive happens in gazelle mode. Nothing happens in run mode, give up mode, quit mode, scared mode, fearful mode, nothing happens. Everything happens in lion mode like I'm coming to get you.